All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, am I audible? If yes, kindly click the heart
Yes,
button.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes po.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's good. So, before anything else, I'd like to make sure that you guys are somewhere without any distractions and are out of your beds, okay? I will give you a minute to prepare yourselves. Okay, is everyone ready now? If yes, kindly click the heart button.
Yes,
Okay, that's good. So, good morning again. How are you guys?
we're feeling great, ma'am.
We're good, ma'am.
That's good. Okay, so then before we start our lesson, let us have our morning prayer. We begin today in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord Jesus, we thank you for today. As we begin our class, we humbly ask for your divine wisdom to fill our minds and guide our thoughts. Help us to stay focused on the knowledge and understanding we are about to receive. Holy Spirit, be our source of inspiration as we engage in learning. Illuminate our hearts and minds so that we may comprehend the wonders of the world around us. Let your light be our guide in this journey of discovery. Lord, we surrender our lives to you, trusting that your will is perfect for us. May we walk in alignment with your plans and purposes. Empower us to shine your light to those around us through our actions and our words. We ask this all through your Son, Jesus, who lived and died so that we may have eternal life with you. Amen. Okay, so are you ready to lend your ears, everyone? Click the heart button
Yes,
if
ma'am.
yes.
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
That's good. Class monitor, are you in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, kindly check the attendance and report to me after class, okay?
Yes po.
Okay, so before we proceed, who wants to read the classroom rules? Anyone? Yes, Jeline?
Classroom rules. Listen attentively, engage in the discussion, always open your camera, respect each other, and navigate technology wisely.
Thank you, Jeline. And when we say navigate technology wisely, I mean do not use your technologies for something that is not related to our class. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If possible, please open your cameras. But if you have technical difficulties, it's okay. Okay? So, all right. So, guys, I have prepared a game for you. Do you want a game? Do you want to play a game?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, you
Yes,
like
ma'am.
game. So, you know bingo, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but this is a bingo with a twist.
Wow.
So our game is called Boko no Bingo. So guys, uh, last meeting during our face-to-face classes, I gave you bingo cards, right? Kindly bring them out. Okay. Now who wants to read the instructions?
Me, ma'am.
Okay. Nicole?
The teacher will read some poems. These poems contain words that are in your cards. Listen carefully. When you hear the words that are in your card, mark X. Whoever gets the straight line pattern first wins.
Okay. So straight line, any straight line, including diagonals, okay? And also, if you have completed the pattern, click the raise hand button. All right? Are your bingo cards ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then I will read the poems. Listen to me carefully, okay? So the first,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. The first poem is entitled The Light of a Candle by Yosa Buson. The light of a candle is transferred to another candle. Spring twilight. Are you marking your cards? I repeat, the light of a candle is transferred to another candle. Spring twilight. Okay. So the next poem is entitled In the Moonlight by Yosa Buson. In pale moonlight, the mysterious scent comes from far away. Again, in pale moonlight, the mysterious scent comes from far away. Next poem. It is entitled The People Are Sad. The people are sad. Their dreams have faded away. They have almost they have almost had. I repeat, the people are sad. Their dreams have faded away that they almost had. Still with me? Kindly click the heart button. Okay, good. You're marking your bingo cards, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Next poem is entitled First Autumn Morning by Murakami Kijo. First autumn morning, the mirror I stare into shows my father's face. I repeat, first autumn morning, the mirror I stare into shows my father's face. Next poem, In a Station of the Metro by Ezra Pound. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bow. I repeat, the apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bow. Next one, it is Haiku for You by Sonia Sanchez. Love between us is speech and breath. Loving you is a long river running. I repeat, love between us is speech and breath. Loving you is a long river running. If you have completed the patterns, raise your hands, okay? So the next poem is entitled Snail. Oh, snail, climb Mount Fuji, but slowly, slowly. I repeat, oh, snail, climb Mount Fuji, but slowly, slowly. Okay, so the next poem is entitled After Killing a Spider by Masaoka Shiki. After killing a spider, how lonely I feel in the cold of night. I repeat, after killing a spider, how lonely I feel in the cold of night. Anyone? Okay, Jermar. Jermar's raised his hand. Have you completed the pattern?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Kindly show us the bingo card, please. All right, that's good. So, Jermar, in our next face-to-face classes, you will get your prize. Is that okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's now continue to have fun while learning with our next activity. So this activity is called verbal charades. Now, I want you to read the instructions for this activity. Maureen, kindly read our instructions.
The students will be grouped into three. Each group will choose representatives to present the clue for the given word in the form of poetry. The representatives will be tasked to create a one-line poetry with specific syllable counts describing their given word. The rest of the group will be tasked to guess what the word is based on the given descriptions.
Okay, so here are your groupings. So for group 1, group 2, and group 3, I want you to kindly choose your representatives. Okay, group 1, kindly choose 3 representatives. So who will be your representatives for this activity? Group 1, so Krisha, Daniela, and we need another. So Krisha, Daniela, and Ireel. Okay, so how about group 2? Who will be your representatives? So Janice, Janalyn, and we need 2 more. We need 2 more representatives for group 2. So Kyla and another one. Kyla and okay, so I will just choose one. It will be Jeline. So how about group 3? For
Ma'am,
group 3, you need.
for our representatives, it will be Maureen, Nicole, Raymond, and Raven.
Okay, now I will be sending the given words through Messenger right now so that you will have time to prepare, okay? I will be sending it now to you. Now, as you listen to their poems that they will say later on, I want you to take note of the syllable counts of their lines, okay? Now, group 1, are you ready? Group 1, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We're
Okay, you may now start your poem. Daniela?
Petals soft and bright.
Okay, kindly repeat, Miss Daniela.
Petals soft and bright.
Thank you. Now let's move on to the next line. Krisha.
dancing in the morning breeze.
Thank you. Now Ireel.
Whispers of spring light.
Okay, thank you, group 1. So, what do you think is the word that group 1 is trying to describe? Okay, what is that word? Anyone who would like to answer? Mm. Okay, not the representatives. I want the group mates to answer. Group 1, what do you think is that word? So, Emil, I want you to guess what the poem is trying to describe. Emil?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is the word that your group mates were trying to describe through their poems?
Ma'am, I think it's all about flowers.
Okay, very good. The poem is about the flower. Okay, for the next group, are you ready? Group 2, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may now start. Janelyn. You may now start your poems, Janelyn.
Through thick and thin, we stay near.
Okay, Jeline.
In laughter, together still.
Next, Janice.
In every fall, we will rise.
And next, Kyla.
They are always by our side.
Oh, thank you, group 2. Now, who wants to guess the word that they were trying to describe? Okay, group 2 members, I want you to guess the word. Now, who wants to recite? Kindly raise your hand. Kindly raise your hand. Okay, so Erickson, what is the word that they are trying to describe through their poem? Erickson? Other hands, aside from those who have already spoken or recited their poems, what were they trying to describe? Yes. Is this Jasnica? Okay, Jasnica, what is the answer?
I think it's friend, ma'am.
Okay, very good. It is friend. Now for the last group, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may now start, Nicole.
It is my home, where love lives and hearts are warm.
Okay, Raven.
Through every high and low.
Raymond. Okay, Raymond, you may now state your line. I think your audio is not clear. Again, Raymond. Okay. So his audio is not clear. Let's go back with Mr. Raymond's line later. How about Maureen?
Bound by blood, our bonds are strong.
Okay. Raymond? Okay, there's a technical problem on his computer. So let's just move forward to the answer. I believe you can guess the answer based on those lines. Now, who wants to guess the answer? Yes, Erickson? What is the answer?
Ma'am, the answer is family.
Yes, very good. The answer is indeed family. So earlier I told you to pay attention to the syllable counts of those poems. Now, what have you observed as you listen to all those poems? What have you observed? So are they the same, or were there differences in their syllable counts? So are they the same, or were there differences? Yes, Miss Janeline?
I think they're all the same, ma'am. They have 7 syllables each.
Okay. For the poem of the group 2, there were 7 syllables each, while the others have different syllable counts. Now, for the group 1's poem, let's start analyzing the group 1's poem. How many syllables were there for the group 1's poem? Yes, Maureen?
Ma'am, if I remember correctly, the first line, I think Daniela, she had 5 syllables in her line, and then the second line had 7, while the third line also had 5 syllables. I'm sorry.
Yes, okay. So now, if we follow a syllable pattern of 5-7-5, what do we call that type of poem? a 575 poem. Yes, Jermar?
Ma'am, I think it is haiku.
Yes, it is a haiku. Now for the second group's poem, like Janeline said earlier, it is 7777. So what do we call now that type of poem, Janeline?
Ma'am, I think it's Tanaga.
Yes, very good. Now for the last one, which we had 4 lines, but unfortunately one line was not presented. But based on what you have heard, did they follow a specific pattern of syllables or not? Did they follow a specific syllable or not? Okay. Oh, yes, Jermar?
Ma'am, I think group 3 doesn't have specific syllable pattern because in the first utterance of Nicole, it's not have a next pattern with how Raven say his own line.
Okay, very good. Now, if we don't follow a specific syllable pattern, what do we call now? What do we call now that type of poem? Yes, Jasnica?
Is it free verse, ma'am?
Yes, it is somehow connected to that. But in general, what do we call all of those poems? Free verse, or we can call it. Yes, Krisha?
Ma'am, based from what I remember, this is called as usual form.
Yes, so that one that doesn't follow a specific syllable pattern is called the usual form. Okay. So what are again those 3 types of poems? Yes, Jeline?
The 3 types of poems that we have discussed in our activity is that the haiku, the tanaga, and the usual form of poetry, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so before we proceed to the lecture proper, may we have someone to read the objectives, the objectives that we will be aiming to achieve today. Okay, yes, Eliza.
Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to distinguish haiku, tanaga, and usual forms of poetry, compose a haiku, tanaga, and usual form of poetry using Google Docs, and demonstrate the significance of haiku, tanaga, and usual form of poetry through expressing personal interpretation of the poems.
Okay, thank you, Eliza. So, based from our previous activities that you had today, it has been already established that they are haiku, tanaga, and the usual form of poetry, right? So, what comes into your mind when you hear the words haiku? Specifically, what period of Philippine literature could it be? You may raise your hand if you want to answer. You may press the raise hand button. Is this Jasnica? Okay. Yes, Jasnica?
I think it's during the Japanese period, ma'am.
Okay, that's right. It's from the Japanese period. So our topic for today is on the types of poetry in Philippine literature during the Japanese colonization period. So as we start our lesson proper, I want you all to listen attentively because as you hear the word Japanese, you are expected to choose or press the heart emoticon. Okay, so the student that will have the most number of heart emojis pressed will be given a prize on our next meeting. Okay, so don't worry because I have assigned people to monitor the number of emojis, the heart emojis that you will be pressing on our discussion today. So may we have a trial, okay? So our topic for today is on the types of poetry during the Japanese period. Okay, I see many people. Wow, there's even a burst of emoji. Okay, okay. So now, so are the instructions clear? Okay, it
Yes,
seems.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now,
An
I
old
have here
silent
a poem for you to listen to. And what I want you to do is to focus on the number of syllables that you may be hearing in the poem. So, are the instructions clear? You may press the heart emoji. Okay, thank you very much. So, lend your ears to the audio.
An old silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. The sound of water.
Okay, so was the audio clear? I will let you hear it another time. Okay, second time.
An old silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. The sound of water.
So were you able to count how many syllables were there in the poem? Please press the heart emoji if you did. Okay, thank you. So how many syllables were there in the poem? Yes, Erickson, you are raising your hand.
Ma'am, we have 5 syllables.
All right, let's check if Erickson's answer is correct. So here's a visualizer for you. So an old silent pond, a frog jumps into the pond, the sound of water. Let's try to count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it seems like Erickson's answer is correct. So what comes into your mind if it's a poem with 5-7-5 pattern? Yes, Jasnica?
I think it's haiku, ma'am.
All right, it's actually haiku. So our first type of poetry is a haiku. So now, using the same poem, I want you to try to analyze for the content. Here we have a visualizer. Okay.
An old silent pond. A frog jumps into the pond. The sound of water.
Okay, so what could be the hidden meaning or what could be the meaning of this poem? You may raise your hand if you know the answer. Oh, it seems like no one. Do you know the answer, Jenilyn? You opened your microphone.
Can I try, ma'am?
Yes, you can try, of course.
I can read this and hear or read the words all silent pond. We come into an interpretation that that pond has no water in. But then when we read the second line, a frog jumps into the second and the third line, a frog jumps into the pond, the sound of water. We came to realize that that silent old pond has water in it.
Yes, that's right. So it went from being a silent pond with it's with seemingly not having the water, but as the frog jumps, there was the sound of water. So it could also be about how small actions could affect stillness, right? So was there ever a time in your life that you were disrupted by a small action, Jenilyn?
Ma'am?
Was there ever a time in your life that you were disrupted by a small action?
Yes, ma'am.
What could be that situation?
When I'm trying to review and then there's some others of my classmates that is murmuring just a little bit, ma'am.
Oh, that's a memorable experience. I'm pretty sure many of us would relate to it. So let's try to tick off everything that we have discussed about the characteristics of a haiku. So Jermar, do you mind listing down the characteristics of the haiku that we have discussed? Jermar, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, kindly list them down. Like how many
So
syllables?
haiku,
Okay.
so haiku, ma'am, is composed of 5 syllable, and it um primarily haiku is all about the topic is all about nature, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much, Jermar. So let's check. We have the haiku. So it is it is a 3-line poem with 5-7-5 pattern with 17 syllables. That's right. So Jermar is right. And he also mentioned about the possible theme of a haiku, and we will go there later on. So it seems like we have a characteristic that we have missed. So what do we actually mean when it says that it has an allegorical meaning? May we have Maureen? Maureen, are you here with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what do we mean when we say that it has an allegorical meaning?
I think that allegorical means that there's a literal meaning, but there's also a symbolic meaning. So it has both literal and figurative language.
Okay, that's right. And what do we do when there is a literal and figurative meaning for us to know the meaning of the poem? What do we actually do?
Ako pa rin po ba?
Yes, you can if you want.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think that since there's a literal meaning and there's also a figurative meaning, it can help us understand both sides because not everyone can understand deeper meanings of poems, but sometimes it can also help us appreciate the beauty of words because of the figurative meaning of those poems.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Maureen. So we have to analyze the imagery or metaphor that is present in a poem for us to understand it. So let's check. Let's check that box. So I have here a question for you. Okay, so I will flash it on the screen. So how do you think does the structure of haiku affects its meaning and impact? So how do you think does the structure of haiku affects its meaning and impact? So does anyone want to answer? Okay, how about we make use of our mystery boxes? Oh, it's not working. Okay, so let's just call on someone that probably knows the answer. So how do you think that does the structure of haiku affects its meaning and impact? May we have Princess? Princess, are you here with us? Okay, let's try to use our mystery boxes. Now we have our mystery boxes. Okay, so since today is March 1, it's the third month of the year, we are going to choose the number 3. So who could number 3 be? So we have April. Is the screen showing the... Okay, so we have April. Okay, let's go back to the question. So how do you think does the structure of haiku affects its meaning and impact? April?
Mom, I think the structure of haiku affect its meaning, and it's just giving a short line, but the impact of the meaning is huge or very impactful, because even just having a short line, the students or the readers can actually what they call this one, can analyze or interpret the poem.
Yes, that's actually right. So it's like saying something in a simple yet powerful way. Thank you, April. Now for our next one. So we are now going to check that it has an allegorical meaning based on the discussion. So it seems like we have, I know, Jermar mentioned a while back that the theme could be possibly about nature, right? So maybe go back to Jermar. So what made you think that the theme is all about nature?
Ma'am, I think haiku is primarily use nature because some or many of the haiku that I have read is all about or depicted a beauty and sensory imagery of a nature.
Yes, that's right. So, Jermar, do you think that this theme of nature, does this reflect the Japanese influence?
Yes, ma'am. I think it has a influence or it has a connection with the Japanese into also not only for their culture but also into our own culture.
Okay, so that's right. So it really reflects the Japanese influence. So is the concept of haiku clear to everyone? You may press the heart emoji if you understood the concept of haiku. Okay, all right. So next we have yes, that's the question. So do you have any questions about the haiku, the concept of haiku?
Yan, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So now
Sea
we are
waves
now
foam.
going to our next type of poetry. So I have here another poem for you to listen to. And what you're going to do again is to focus on the syllables and possibly the rhyme scheme of the poem.
Sea waves foaming, wash the shore. The castle is there no more. No windows remain, no door. Roof of sky, a sandy floor.
Okay, so were you able to hear how many syllables were there? How were you able to count? Okay, let's try to repeat it again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the others, let's try
Sea
to
waves
repeat it.
foaming, wash the shore. The castle is there no more. No windows remain, no door. Roof of sky, a sandy floor.
Okay, so may we have
The
Ella
castle is there no more.
tell
Sea
us how
waves
many
foaming,
syllables were
wash
there?
the shore. The castle is there no more. No windows remain, no door. Roof of sky, a sandy floor.
Okay, Ella, may we have your answer if how many syllables were there? Oh, let's have Daniela. Okay, Daniela.
Ma'am, I think there is 4 lines with 7 syllables each po.
All right. So were you able to know how many? What was the rhyme scheme to, or only the number of syllables and lines?
I think I only got the numbers per lines po.
Okay. Nonetheless, your answer is correct. So let's have the visualizer.
The castle is there no more. Wash the shore. Sea
Okay, that's right. So it had 777. So it was a 4-line poem with 7 syllables. So with the visualizer here, I want you to focus on the rhyme scheme of the 4-line poem. So what do you think is it, the rhyme scheme? Yes, Princess?
Ma'am, I believe it is the 4AAE because of the shore, more, door, and floor. They are all they have the same sounds in the end.
All right, so princess is correct. So the rhyme scheme is the A. Yes, Daniela, were you raising your hand? Oh, you weren't? Okay. So we have here the A rhyme scheme. So what comes into your mind again if it's a four-line poem with 7 syllables each and the A rhyme scheme? What type of poetry could it be? Yes, Erickson?
That is Tanaga.
Okay, that's right. So is this your first time encountering Tanaga, Erickson?
Ma'am, actually, no.
Okay, so it's good that you have background information on what Tanaga is. So let's try to tick off everything that we have mentioned about the characteristics of the Tanaga. Okay, so that's Tanaga. So would someone tell us what was the mentioned characteristics of a Tanaga? Yes, Princess?
Characteristic of Tanaga is first, based on the poetry, it has 4 lines. And then for the pattern, it has 7. Every line has the 7 pattern or the 7 syllable. And for the last one is the rhyme scheme of A.
All right, thank you, Princess. So let's check the list. Okay, so Princess is right. So it is a 4-line poem with a 7 7 7 7 pattern and an A rhyme scheme. So comparing it to a haiku, how does the longer structure of Tanaga allow for deeper expression? How do you think it helped the writers back in the past? May we have someone to tell us his or her idea? Okay. Hello, Maureen. You are recognized.
Ma'am, I think that Tanaga, since it's longer, it allows the poets to say more and express more. Unlike in the example in haiku a while ago, it required the readers to think more comprehensively. While in Tanaga, it allows the poet to write more and express their thoughts more, so it's easily comprehensible.
Okay. Thank you, Maureen. So that is right. So compared to haiku, there is a longer structure, right? So there are 7 7 7 7 syllables too and an extra line. So it's like they are saying more than a haiku. So the next slide we have. Yes, Nicole, you are recognized. You're raising your hand.
Mami, is Tanaga tayutay in Tagalog?
I think there is no like direct direct translation of like a Tanaga because Tanaga is originally a Filipino descent, so it originated here in the Philippines. Yes, so some other people are mistaking it also with Tanka, which is from the Japanese, but there are distinctions too. Thank you for your question, Nicole. So next we have, so there is a blank checkbox on the last part of Tanaga. So what do you think is that characteristic that we're missing here? I think that this has been mentioned in the haiku too. May we have someone? May we have Jeline?
Ma'am, will you please repeat the question?
Okay, so there's a blank space after the third characteristic, right? So what do you think is this characteristic? Like if you base your answer on the poem, like what could be the fourth characteristic? I believe that it is also mentioned in haiku. Yes, Jeline?
Ma'am, I believe it has allegorical meaning too, just like haiku po.
Okay, so what do we mean when we say allegorical meaning again? Your answer is correct.
When we say allegorical meaning, there were literal and symbolic meanings in the poem po, ma'am.
All right, so thank you, Jeline. So for the next one, we have here the poem again. So what I want you to do is to like focus on the content. Like what could be the content of the poem? So you may take your time in answering, you may take your time in analyzing the poem. Okay, so how about we have Jeline? No, not Jeline. It should be, I think, Jeneline. Jeneline, are you still with us? No, it seems like she is not, or maybe she is having technical difficulties. So may we have, who is here with us? May we have Princess?
Ma'am, kindly repeat the question.
What could be the meaning of the poem? Like here, see waves. What could be?
Ma'am, I think it's about the temporary nature of things. It's like, for example, our first line, sea waves foaming wash the shore. It's like it is telling us that nothing lasts forever.
Okay, that's right. So your interpretation is actually correct. So, Princess, was there ever a time in your life that you felt like something would last forever but it didn't?
Yes po.
Do you want to share it to the class? Like just a brief explanation.
I think I am looking forward for my dog because I think even though I think that she will last forever, but I think it is not the case.
All right. So that's the temporary nature of life. So we have already discussed the characteristics of a Tanaga, right? So what could be the possible theme of a Tanaga? Like if you base it on the poem a while back, so what could be a possible theme? May we have... So does anyone know the answer? They can press the raise hand button. Like basing from the poem here, what could be the possible theme of a Tanaga? Yes, Princess?
Ma'am, I think based from the theme, also from my example a while ago, that is my experience. I think it is about life.
Okay, so that's right. It could be about life. But actually, your answer is correct, yes. But actually, it covers various topics. So it could be about life, love, nature, and Filipino culture. So why do you think is Filipino culture included? I have mentioned this a while back because of the origin of Tanaga. May we have Nicole? Like why do you think is Filipino culture included in the theme of a Tanaga?
Am I audible po?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so thank you. I think that the culture has been integrated to the Naga because basically Filipinos are known for being heartwarming, welcome, and yeah, it's all about love po. May love po kasi siyang theme nun.
Yes, that's correct. So it is a typical Filipino culture that there is love included. Okay, so for our next slide, we have here a question. So how do you think Tanaga was used by Filipinos during the Japanese period? So how do you think Tanaga was used by Filipinos during the Japanese period? Can someone raise their hand if they know the answer? Okay, so is Christine here with us? Christine, are you here? Okay, yes, Jermar?
Ma'am, I think Filipinos use the Tanaga during the Japanese period for them to express also and express their or um nationalist sentiments through writing poetry based from what they experienced from the Japanese occupation.
Yes, that's right. So, because if we recall, the Filipinos were under the colonization of the Japanese, right? So there was surely censorship of like the way they communicate with other people. So Tanaga was used also to communicate. Thank you, Jermar. So for the next one, we have another question. So do you think that Tanaga is still prominent in our era today? Why or why not? Erickson, you are raising your hand. Do you want to answer this question?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so do you think that Tanaga is still prominent in our era today? Why or why not?
Ma'am, I believe it is still prominent until today.
Why do you think so?
Ma'am, because it reflects our culture, our heritage as Filipinos.
Yeah, so it actually withstand everything that the Filipinos went under the Japanese colonization. So up until now, we are still using Tanaga. So for our next one, we have our okay. So I have here another question. So how do you think does the rhyme and rhythm of Tanaga make it easier to remember compared to the haiku? So how does the rhythm and rhyme of Tanaga make it easier to remember compared to haiku? So does someone know the answer? Okay, Daniela?
Ma'am, I think Tanaga or the rhyme scheme and the like the numbers of syllables in
Yes.
Tanaga makes it very makes it more remarkable than haiku because it only follows the AAA rhyme scheme, and there's like 4 lines. I think people can really remember it by that rhyme scheme, and it's easier to make Tanaga with those patterns.
Yes, thank you, Daniela. So with Tanaga, it's like there is already a standard number and a standard rhyme scheme that could be easily noticed and used by people because of the similar letters. Okay, so is the concept of Tanaga clear to everyone? You may press the heart emoji if you understood the concept of Tanaga. All right, so it seems like you did. Thank you for the heart emojis. Okay, so we are now done with our second one. So we are now going for our third type of poetry. So I think that the audio is not placed here in the slide. So I will just read it for you. Kapag ka ang bayay sadyang umiibig, sa langit salitang kaloob ng langit. Sanlang kalayaan nasa ring masapi. Katulad ng ibong nasa himpapawid, pagkat ang salita'y isang kahatulan, sa bayan sa nayot mga kaharian. So if you did not catch the audio, so I will have to give you this visualizer here. So yes, we have. Okay, so may we have Krisha to tell us what her observations is in terms of the number of syllables, in terms of the structure in general. Krisha? Yes, Erickson, you were raising your hand. I'm sorry. Okay, so may we have Princess?
Ma'am, as I observe in the poem, as I read it by syllables, we have 3 lines, and then in total 6 lines, but it has 12 syllable per line.
So, yes, that's correct. So, is this type of poetry familiar to you? Does it seem familiar? Princess?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, what could actually be our third type of poetry, with it being familiar to you, Princess?
Ma'am, I think from our activity a while ago, or what Krisha said a while ago, I think, or I do believe that it is the usual form of poetry.
Okay, so that's right. You got the term. We have the usual form of poetry as our type of poetry for our third type of poetry. So may we have someone to take off the characteristics of the usual form? I believe it was mentioned just now by Princess. May we have Eliza? Are you here with us? May we have Kyla instead? Maybe she is having. Like, what are the characteristics of a usual form? I believe that it was just said by Princess a while ago. Okay, Princess, do you mind repeating the characteristics of the usual form?
Um, it's just what I just mentioned a while ago. It has no standard. But based from our syllable, as I read it, it has 12 syllable per line. But from my research, there is no standard number of syllables for each line, ma'am. And also, it is a traditional form of poetry.
Okay, so we have, it has no standard number of syllables and it actually has a regular meter. So on the next slide, we have a question. So do you think that this form was present before, during, and after the Japanese period? The usual form? May we have Jeline answer the question?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you think that the usual form was present before, during, and after the Japanese period?
Yes, ma'am.
Why
Yes,
did
ma'am. I think has been here before the Japanese period because it is a traditional form po.
Okay, so thank you very much. Yes, it is actually present before, during, and after because of it being traditional. So what do you think is the message of the poem? Let's go back. Kapag ka ang bayay sa diyong umiibig. Okay, you may check. What do you think is the message of the poem? We have here bayan and then kalayaan. May we have Jeneline answer the question. So what do you think is the content of the poem? Yes, Jeline?
May I try po? Is it
Yes,
freedom and nation's identity po, ma'am?
So that's correct. So what made you think that it's about freedom and what is it again? Freedom and
Nation's identity.
okay. So why do you
Since
think that it's like that? Okay.
since it mentioned a bird which symbolizes freedom, and bayan, which is we could actually already grasp that the information or that this the message of this poem talks about nation's identity po.
Yes, that's correct. So yes, Jermar, you're raising your hand.
I just want to add to what Jaline said, no, and it is all about, yes, national identity, but it all specifically about our language as a Filipino, that it compares to a bird, that we should like use our language and make it being pride of it as it is our own identity and culture as a Filipino.
Okay, that is right. So the poem is actually from Dr. Jose Rizal's Aking Mga Kabata. So it is actually about language being it is about emphasizing the importance of one's native language. So do you think that this type of poem is the easiest to compose? You may press the heart emoji if you think that it is. Yes, Jasnica, why do you think so that it is actually the easiest one to compose?
Ma'am, I think it is the easiest to compose because you don't have to follow any specific number of syllables. You just compose a poem basing on what you want it to be, and you don't have to follow a standard format.
Yes, that's actually right. Right, but you have to take note also that there is a regular meter. Okay, thank you, Jasnica. So is the concept of usual form clear to everyone? You may press the emoji if you think that it is. Okay, thank you for your reactions. So now can someone be our summary guru and like synthesize everything that we have mentioned in our topic today, in our lesson today? So do you want to use our wheel of names or can someone already volunteer to synthesize our topic today? It seems like we're going to use our wheel of names. Okay, so since it's already 10:32, our number would be the number 32. So who do we have? Okay, we have Princess to summarize our topic today. Princess?
Okay, for this day, we have learned about the three types of poetry from Japanese period. We have the haiku, tanaga, and then the unusual form, wherein the haiku has the 575, while the tanaga has the 777, and then for the unusual form, it doesn't have any. There is a regular meter, but it does not require us to have the same syllables.
So thank you for the summary, Princess. Now, how about we try to reflect from everything that we have said about? So I have here a series of questions for you. So it would just be a quick question and answer portion. So what makes haiku and tanaga powerful despite being short? May we have Jasnica answer this question? What makes haiku and tanaga powerful despite being short?
I think what makes Tanaga and Haiku powerful despite being short is that even if it is short, the writer still uses language that evokes emotions from the readers. This language could be a figurative language. That's why it's powerful because it manages to provoke different emotions from the readers.
Okay, thank you, Jasnica. Yes, that's correct. Like what I have said a while ago, it's like saying something less in a simple and powerful way. And so now we have the next question. How can these poetry forms be used today to inform people about struggles like poverty and social justice? How can these poetry forms be used today to inform people about struggles like poverty and social justice? Yes, Princess?
Because in era today, people do not like to read very lengthy information because they prefer short. And then I believe this poetry, especially haiku and tanaga, despite being short, they can already encapsulate everything that the reader should know about these modern struggles.
Yes, that's right. And yes, you have mentioned our era today. So it could also be that because of the advancement of technology, they can also share their modernized haiku and tanaga. So for our last question, why do you think short poetry like haiku and tanaga can be relevant in expressing deep emotions in real life situations? I repeat, how about the question, why do you think short poetry like haiku and tanaga can be relevant in expressing deep emotions in real life situations? May we have Maureen answer this question?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question po?
Okay, so why do you think the short poetry like haiku and tanaga can be relevant in expressing deep emotions in real life situations?
I think that since haiku and tanaga are both short poems, it it is helpful because there are some people who don't like to read very long poetry or very long texts, and so in these times, when you use those haiku and tanaga to compose your poetry, even though they are short, they can already express your emotions or your opinions in a way that can be impactful, but also short enough that people will pay attention to it.
Okay, thank you very much for that insightful idea. You are correct. So it seems like you understood our topic for today. And it seems like our time is up in this Google Meet. So since it's already expiring, I want you all to join in another link that we will be sending in our group chat. Is it okay, class?
Ma'am.
Okay, so now I will be ending this video call, but the class has not.
Yes, ma'am.
You are expected to join the new link. Do you understand? Okay, thank you very much.
So, hello class. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, so let's continue. So, now that we are done discussing our lesson, it's time to apply and test your understanding. So, let's have a activity. So, we're going to have same groupings, the group 1, group 2, and group 3. So, here is the instruction. Can someone read the instructions? Can anyone read?
Sir.
Yes, Nicole?
Create three different forms of poems. Group, you will create the naga, and three, visual form. You can choose any theme or topic: nature, love, life, hope, or culture. Figurative language, imagery, and emotions to make your poems meaningful and engaging. Each group will present or share their poems to the class, and inspiration behind the poem. After you present, you will pass your activity through. Only have minutes to create your poem.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. So, here's your rubric for your basis. Have you understood the instruction?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if there's any question?
None, sir.
Okay, if none, your 10 minutes starts now. Okay, time's up. Are you done creating your poem, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now that's good. Now let's begin with sharing our poems, starting with the group one, followed by group 2, and group 3 will be the last. Okay, so group 1, let us hear your poem. Okay, so let's have Ella for the group 1. Can we hear your poem?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
So, my poem is Whispers of the Wind, Golden Leaves Dance in Twilight, Earth Sighs with Song.
Okay, can you explain what is the back of the story in your poem?
So, my poem is the haiku is inspired by the peaceful transition of seasons, particularly the autumn. So, when nature undergoes change, yet it remains beautiful, the poem evokes a sense of nostalgia, serenity, and connection with the natural world that encourage readers to slow down and appreciate the quiet wonders around them.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you, Ella. Okay, so let's have group two. Miss Subang.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
here?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So, our poem is Atanaga po. So, in your arms, the moonlight glows. Like the tide, my heartbeat flows. Lost in dreams, where echoes blend, love's embrace will never end. So, this Tanaga po actually expresses love's deep, unwavering nature using imagery from nature. And the line, the moonlight glowing in an embrace, symbolizes the warmth and comfort, while the line, the tide flowing, represents a steady, unbreakable bond. Tapos, yung phrase po na lost in dreams, where echoes blend, it suggests a love so deep that it feels like a beautiful, endless dream. Lastly, sir, the line where love's embrace will never end, this reinforces po the idea of eternal devotion po. And with its rhythm, rhyme, and figurative language po, the poem actually captures the timeless and unshakable nature of true love po, sir.
Okay, thank you, Miss Subang. Very good. So let's have the last but not the least, group three. Okay, Miss Princess, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me hear your work.
Okay, this is from Unusual Form. Your touch is like the morning light, so warm, so soft, so pure and bright. It wakes my soul, it calms my fear. A love so strong, so true and sincere. Like rivers flowing to the sea, my heart will always run to thee. Through storm and fire, through dark and rain, my love for you will still remain. So, the poem Endless Flame portrays love as gentle, pure, and eternal, using imagery like the morning light to symbolize love's warmth and comfort, while the rivers flowing to the sea represent an unbreakable connection. So, despite challenges such as storms and fire, the love persists. The poem's rhyming patterns and fluidity highlight the depth and authenticity of love.
Okay, thank you, group three. So that's wonderful. I'm amazed your creativity, the poem you have created. Give your around yourself of applause. Okay, good job, everyone.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, class. Is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you settle down now because we will be testing whether you understood the lesson or not. For now, I want you to open your cameras for this activity. Okay, for those who kept their cameras closed, for due to personal reason or technical issue, please be reminded that this activity requiring you to open your cameras. Okay, can someone read the instruction, please?
Ma'am.
Okay, yes, Nicole.
The students should prepare the materials provided beforehand to indicate their answers. The teacher will read the questions twice. The students will answer by showing the letter of the correct answer to the screen. On the count of five, the students should raise their answer and wait for the instruction of the teacher when to put it down. Late answers will not be counted. The teacher will take a screenshot to monitor the student's score.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, are the instructions clear?
Hello?
Okay, are the instructions clear, class? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Before we start, can you show me the instruction, the material or the cards that I provided last time? Okay. 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 Who are the students who don't have the cards? Can you click the raise hand button? Okay. For those who don't have the card, please use a coupon band for the meantime. Cut it in 4 pieces. Visible to be seen the letters. Please write A, B, and C only on those letters. Okay. Okay. Please inform me if you're done. Okay. Okay. Are you ready, class? Okay. I repeat. Are you ready, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For number 1, this is the type of Philippine poetry that is traditionally written in the Philippine language. I repeat, this is the type of Philippine poetry that is traditionally written in the Philippine language. A. Tanaga. B. Haiku. C. Usual form. I repeat, A. Tanaga. B. Haiku. C. Usual form. Okay, show your answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, the correct answer is letter A, Tanaga. Okay, next, number 2. Okay. For number 2, what is the pattern or structure of Tanaga? I repeat, what is the pattern or structure of a Tanaga? A. 5-7-5. B. 7-7-7-7. C. Common pattern. I repeat, A. 5-7-5. B. 7-7-7. C. Common pattern. Okay, show your answers. The correct answer is letter B. Okay. Okay, letter B is correct. Okay, next, number 3. Okay, let's move on number 3. This is a Japanese poetic form with 3 lines. I repeat, this is a Japanese poetic form with 3 lines. A. Tanaga. B. Haiku. C. Usual form. I repeat, A. Tanaga. B. Haiku. C. Usual form. Okay, the correct answer is C.
Yes!
Okay. Okay, let's move to number 4. Are you still with me, guys? Are you still with me, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's
Yes.
of haiku.
What, ma'am?
Ma'am, please. Ma'am, you're intangible.
Nag-tell niya intangible.
Inaudible, te.
Tangible.
Ma'am, you're inaudible po. Ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear my voice now?
Yes, ma'am.
The voice is
Okay.
voiceless.
Okay. But can you hear me now? Is my voice clear now? Guys, please do inform me.
Yes
Okay.
po.
What number are we now?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 4, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello,
Crystal
what
clear.
number daw?
Ma'am, I think we're already at number 4.
Wala pa. You lost your network.
Ma'am left the group.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back now. Sorry for the technical issue. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's move on number 4 now. Is my voice
I
clear?
think ma'am left the group.
Okay. Question. Okay. Okay. So, okay. I apologize for technical issue. Okay. Are my voice clear now, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on number 4 now. Okay. Number 4, this is the central theme of haiku. I repeat, this is the central theme of haiku. A, nature. B, romance. C, family. Okay, show your answers now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, the correct answer is A, nature. Okay, let's move on number 5. Okay. Number 5 is, what is the syllable count for haiku? What is the syllable count for haiku? A, 575. B, 777. C, common pattern. I repeat, A, 575. B, 777. C, common pattern. Okay, show your answer, please. Okay, the correct answer is letter A. Very good, student. Okay, let's move on number 6. Okay, what year has the Japanese period started? I repeat, what year has the Japanese period started? A, 1941. B, 1944. C, 1948. I repeat, A, 1941. B, 1944. C. 1948. Okay, show your answers in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the correct answer is A. Okay. Okay, let's move on number 7. Number 7 is, what form of poetry has no standard numbers of syllables, lines, and stanzas? Number 7, what form of poetry has no standard number of syllables, lines, and stanzas? Okay. Number A, A, tanaga, B, haiku, C, usual form. I repeat, A, tanaga, B, haiku, C, usual form. Okay, show your answers. In 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, the correct answer is C, usual form. Okay, let's move with number 8. Okay, are you still with me, class? Okay. Okay, let's move on number 8. Which is not a characteristic of Tanaga? I repeat, which is not a characteristic of Tanaga? A, 777 pattern. B, AABB rhyme scheme. C, 4 lines. I repeat, A, 777 pattern. B, AABB rhyme scheme. C, 4 lines. Okay, show your answers, please. Okay, in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The correct answer is letter B, AABB rhyme scheme. Okay. Right, let's move on number 9. What is the pattern of the usual form of poetry? I repeat, what is the pattern of the usual form of poetry? A, 575. B, 777. C, common pattern. I repeat, A, 575. B, 777. C, common pattern. Show your answers, please. In 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, the correct answer is letter C. Okay, very good, class. Now for the last number 10. An old silent pump, a frog jumps into pond, the sounds of water. This is an example of, I repeat, an old silent pump, a frog jumps into the pond, the sounds of water. This is an example of A, tanaga, B, haiku, C, karaniwang anyo. I repeat, A, tanaga, B, haiku, C, karaniwang anyo. Okay, show your answers, please. Okay. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. Okay, have you done well on our assessment, class? If yes, click the clap button. If you think that you did poorly, click the thumbs up. Okay. Okay, I see that you have done well. Very good, class. Okay, before we end, do you have any clarification, question about our lesson for today?
Mom.
Do you have
None,
any?
Mom.
Okay, if none, let's have an agreement before you leave this meeting. Can someone read the instruction? Yes, Jilin.
Agreement. Research and have an advanced reading on Philippine literature in the post-war and contemporary period. Explore this period and make a list of literary collections and genres. Write it on a 1.5 crosswise and prepare for the next discussion regarding this topic.
Okay, thank you, Jaylin. Just okay, just scan the QR code for, and please be guided with the instructions. If you have any question regarding regarding the agreement, please reach out to me via messenger. Okay. Do you have any question or clarification before we end? Okay. If there's none, that's all for today class. Thank you, class. Goodbye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.